Hello student, this is Pallad Rabari, your host, and you are watching Pallad Rabari classes. In this video, we will discuss Microeconomics class 11th, Forms of Market. This is the volume 4th of the topic Forms of Market. In this video, we will discuss oligopoly, the features of the oligopoly, and the different types of oligopoly. Let us discuss what is oligopoly. Oligopoly is a market structure with a small number of firms, none of which can keep the others from having significant influence. The concentration ratio measures the market share of the largest firm. Monopoly is one firm, duopoly is two firms, and an oligopoly is two or more firms. There is no precise upper limit to the number of firms in an oligopoly, but the number must be low enough that the action of one firm significantly influences the others. In a very simple word, oligopoly is that type of an imperfect competition in which the number of producers are more than two but should not be unlimited. The number should be limited. Here the large firms are dominating the market. Let us see the features of oligopoly. The first is large firms. There exist few but large and dominating firms. These firms account for majority of market supply, therefore control the market price and the quantity of the output. Listen, in the case of the oligopoly, the market is being covered or market is being captured by the large firms, and all the large firms are in the position to dominate the price and the quantity of the output. The next feature is mutual dependence. There exists a very high degree of mutual interdependence between the firms in an oligopoly market, because in the oligopoly market large firms are there, few large firms are there, so every firm has to consider or ponder the decision relating to the price and the quality of their competitors. If any changes the competitors opt relating to the price and the quality, then the firm has to make the changes to attune themselves in the market. The next is restricted entry. As there exists a cutthroat competition among the firms, so it is very difficult for any new firm to enter into the industry. Moreover, an existing firms are the only giants in the market. If the newcomers comes in the market, they are totally unable to capture the market and they will be thrown out of the market of its own. Let us see the next feature, that is indeterminate demand curve. Listen, in the case of the oligopolistic market, it is very difficult to forecast the demand. Demand is impossible and the sale cannot be forecasted. The question is why? This is because any change in the price or output decisions of a firm sets in a series of reactions of the rival firms. That is why the demand curve is indeterminate and indefined. The greatest economic Paul Sweezy in fact suggested that an oligopolistic firm faces a kinged demand curve at any given price. The following figure shows the diagram demand curve faced by the oligopolistic firm. Listen, in the case of the oligopolistic market, the demand curve is king shape. The question is why? Because we can say that in the case of the oligopoly market, it is very difficult to predict the demand for the future. How it is very difficult? Because we never know how the market will respond. Let us see. Suppose try to understand this graph, or I'll try to explain it through this graph. Listen, if the firm increases the price of the product, if the firm is increasing the price of the product, the competitor will not increase the price, because here the competitor will see the chance to earn the profit. So what will happen? The firm has increased the price, but the competitors has not increased the price. because of which the number of the consumers start shifting from the firm to the competitors. So here we can see the more change will be observed in the demand and less change will be observed in the price. So here we can say the shape of the demand will be more elastic. For example, here we can say DK, the shape will be more elastic. Why? Because the change in the price is less and the change in the demand is more. Suppose if the firm decreases the price, all the competitors will definitely has to decrease the price. Why? Because they know that if they will not decrease the price, they will lose the consumers, and they don't want to lose the consumers. So when the firm decrease the price, all the competitors also start decreasing the price. So what will happen? We can see that less change will be observed in the demand and more change will be observed in the price. When I say more change be observed in the price, what it means? It means everybody is changing the price. So more change will be observed in the price and less change will be observed in the demand. So in this case, elasticity of demand will be less elastic. So in the case of the oligopoly, the shape of the demand curve is kinged shape. It can be more elastic and at the same time it will be less elastic. The upper portion of the demand curve that we have seen, that is DK, is a comparatively more elastic. Why? Because if the firm raises its price above OP1, then this action will not be followed by the rival firms. Doing this will reduce the number of the consumers. Consequently, for any increase in the price above the OP1, the firm will lose its consumer, hence the portion of the demand curve is more elastic. On the other hand, the lower portion of the demand curve, that is KE, is comparatively more inelastic. Why? Because if the firm lower its price, then the rival firm will also follow the price reduction strategy, else the rival firms will lose their consumers, thereby earn profit. Hence the lower portion of the demand curve is more inelastic. Let us see the next feature, that is product. The product of any two oligopolistic firm can either be homogeneous, such as in a steel industry, or can be differentiated or heterogeneous, such as in the automobile industry. Next feature is rigid prices. The rigid prices means sticky prices. It implies that the price do not move freely as per the changes in demand. This is due to the counter decision of the rival firms. For example, if a firm wants to increase its price in order to earn higher profit, then the rival firm may not follow the price hike. As a result, the firm may lose its consumers, thereby incurs losses of revenues and profits. Thus, in an oligopoly firm, fear losses of profit associated with the rise in its price. On the other hand, if any firm aims to generate more profit by lowering its price and selling larger quantities, then the rival firm will also lower their prices, else they will lose their customers. Hence the firm will initiate price reduction will not only be fully benefited, as the increase in the market sale and revenues associated with lowering price will be shared by all the firms in the market. Hence there do not exist enough incentives for the oligopolistic firm to lower or raise the price. That is why the prices in the oligopolistic market appears to be rigid and sticky. Let us see the next feature, that is the seventh. Profit and oligopolistic firms earns abnormal profit in long run due to preventive entry barriers to the new firms. That is, in other words, due to restricted entry for the new firms into the industry, the existing firm earns abnormal or super normal profit in the long run. Next is selling cost, and oligopolistic firms incur heavy selling costs such as advertisement, expenditure on convenience, and attract the consumers to buy the product. This is due to the existence of the cutthroat competition in the oligopolistic market. Now let us see the types of oligopolistic market. There are 5 types. Number 1, open versus closed, partial versus full, perfect versus imperfect, syndicated versus organized, collusive versus non-collusive. These are the criteria on the basis of which we differentiate the oligopoly market. Let us discuss one by one. The first one is open versus closed oligopoly. Let us see. This classification is made on the basis of freedom to enter into the new industry. An open oligopoly is the market situation wherein firms can enter into the industry anytime it wants. Whereas in case of closed oligopoly, there is a certain restrictions that act as a barrier for a new firm to enter into the industry. Can enter, cannot enter. Next is partial versus full oligopoly. This classification is done on the basis of price leadership. On the basis of what? Price leadership. The partial oligopoly refers to the market situation wherein one large firm dominated the market and is looked upon as a price leader. Whereas in full oligopoly, the price leader is conspicuous by its absence. It means one price leader is there, no price leader is there. Next is perfect or imperfect oligopoly. This classification is made on the basis of product differentiation. The oligopoly is perfect or pure when the firms deal in the homogeneous products, whereas the oligopoly is said to be imperfect when the firms deal in heterogeneous product. The next is syndicated versus organized oligopoly. This classification is done on the basis of degree of coordination found among the firms. When the firms come together and sell their products with a common interest is called syndicate oligopoly, whereas in case of organized oligopoly, the firms have a central association for fixing the price, output and quotas. Next is collusive non-collusive. This classification is made on the basis of agreement or understanding between the firm. In collusive oligopoly, instead of competing with each other, the firm come together and with the consensus of all fixes the price of the output. Whereas in case of non-collusive oligopoly, there is a lack of understanding among the firms and they compete other to attract their respective target. Thus, oligopoly market is a market structure that lies between the monopolistic competition and pure monopoly. That's all I have in this video. Thanks for watching. God bless you all. Dear subscribers, if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe the channel and don't forget to press the bell icon so that whenever I upload the new video, you get the notification.